any position that allows you to start breathing. Huge breath in and sigh it out. 2 more times like that. Big breath in, lift your chest up, really fill up. And then let it go until it's gone. Once again, huge breath in, balloon your belly, spread your ribs, lift your heart, get taller and hold the breath in for a moment, lengthening down through your tail, up through the back of your neck. Sip in a little more breath through your nose and then tuck your chin down, press tongue to roof of mouth. And then when you have to let it go, let it go. Seated hip opener, option to come into Batakanasana. Cross-legged seat works just fine. Always, especially for a tight hip flexor people, sitting up on as many blankets as you can. The higher your knees are up, the tighter your hips are going to be. So when I meditate, I have to sit up really high so my knees are down, my hips are higher. We won't be here as long as a formal meditation. At least start with relaxed hips. Then lean on your left hand, right hand to your right inner thigh. Start to traction your thigh bone out. Leaning away from that hip, feel it opening. Send your breath into the opening. Exhale. Active feet. If you're in Batakanasana, press feet together. Whatever shape you're in, spread your toes, press the pinky toe down to the floor. That should send the sensation back up into hip, out of your ankles, out of your knees. One more big breath into right hip. Exhale, turn your chin down to left shoulder. Neck stays relaxed. Hang your head as you use your hands to walk your spine back up to straight. We're moving it into a twist. Now, hip flexor people might choose right leg in front to keep your right knee down as you twist to the right. Some of you bringing the right knee up and then pinning your hip down will feel more appropriate at this point. And if that feels safe, I choose that. We just decompress. Now we're compressing. Those of you talked about not compressing, keep your knee open. Maybe nudge the right knee open with your left hand as you lift up out of your hips, lifting your low belly up, your back ribs up. Exhale the shoulders back. Big breath in. Exhale to release. Seated hip opener, side 2. Either change the cross of your legs or come back into Batakanasana. Lean on right hand, and it can be pretty far away from you. So all the weight's on right arm. Left hand can nudge left thigh open, maybe slightly down. And then rather than trying to fix the shape from the outside, feel what's inside. Close your eyes and breathe into the left hip. Breathing into areas that are not your lungs might still be a concept for some of you. But I think some of you are starting to feel the movement. Maybe all of you in this group can feel the expansion of the inhale, the softening of the exhale in the hip itself. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale, chin to right shoulder. Neck completely relaxed. And keep your neck relaxed as you walk yourself back up to straight spine. Spinal twist to the left. Again, if it feels safe to pick the left knee up, do that and then twist into it, pinning your left hip down, or choose to keep opening the left knee. Even with left knee opening, you're not missing out on that wringing out of decompress, compress. Simply by turning to your left, you're compressing. Exhale, release the twist. Let's come onto our backs. No, stay seated for a moment. Shiva abs, which you can do from your back. I think it's simpler to come into from a sitting position. Starting in a figure 4 shape, picking up your right foot, hooking over left knee. Take a moment to send breath into right hip. Now what we'll do is we'll hook, cradle the right leg, foot into your left elbow, take hold of your right shin with your left hand and pick it up. And then lower back onto your right elbow. Tuck your tail, turn on your abs here as you start to lower back, extend your left leg out. And then some of you will stay propped up on right hand or elbow, tucking tail, pulling navel to spine. Some of you will cradle your head neck with your right hand, trying to curl off the shoulders, pull belly to spine. Use the resistance of your right leg, flex the foot to lift yourself up, but mostly pull your belly in for that effort. 2 more breaths here. Now, if you can come out the way you came in, use your abs a lot. Oh, maybe your hand has to help. If not, lie down on the floor, sit up, and come out in a way that does not create tension. All right, start in figure 4, left ankle, right knee. Send breath into left hip. And then when you're ready, cradle right elbow around the left foot. Hold on to left shin to pick it up. Tuck your tail and start to roll back onto your sacrum. Maybe you rest down on the elbow. Maybe you cradle your head in your hand. Whee! And try to roll your spine up, belly in. Exhale, try to come out the way you came in. Or lie down on your back. We'll all meet lying on our backs. Batakanasana, Supta Batakanasana. Press your palms into your thighs. Take a big breath up into your chest. Blow it out, hold it out. Uddiyana, scoop the contents of the belly up. And then when it's time to breathe, relax your belly, draw your knees into your chest. Elbow to knee with thigh traction. Knees bent over your hips like you're in a chair, hands interlaced behind head and neck. If you prefer to keep your feet on the floor, so you're not using your hip flexors at all, you can. Curl your head and shoulders off the mat. Take a breath down into low back. Exhale, both elbows to left thigh, right leg straight up to the sky. Some of you, your left knee is bent, your knees are together. Inhale, center, knees bent, both feet on earth. Exhale, twist right, left leg to sky. Pull your belly down. Again, like that. Inhale, center, Press the low back flat. Exhale, twist left, right leg straight up. Draw navel to spine. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist right, left leg up. Pull your belly into your low back, press your low back down. Adding thigh traction. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left, right leg straight. Right hand takes hold of the top of the right thigh and starts to traction it out of the hip socket. Pull your belly down. Inhale, bend your knees, cradle your head and neck with your hands. Exhale, twist right, left leg straight. Left hand takes hold of the left thigh and start to traction it up. Make some space in the hip joint and then pull your belly down away from that. One more time like that. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left, right leg straight. Right hand takes hold of the right thigh and lengthens it up from your pelvis. Pull your belly down. Last side, inhale, center, bend your knees, press your low back flat. Exhale, twist right, left leg straight. Take hold of your left thigh and massage it up. Pull your belly down. Inhale, head down, feet down, back into resting butterfly, or if there's a more appropriate resting position for you, you can take a little Shavasana or rest your knees together, Ardha Shavasana. Direct your breath down into your belly. Put your hands on your hips. Feel low belly move. All right, pick your knees back up for bridge. Now, those of you training not to use your hip flexors to pick your hips up. Relax your hips. Ground your feet. Activate your feet. Spread your toes. Lift them up. Press the feet down into the mat to press your hips up. You'll tuck your tail. If that starts to feel like gripping in the hips, you don't have to tuck so hard, but really connect to your feet pressing down, and maybe don't press up so much. Hover in a space where you're lengthening your tail forward, pelvis away from low back. Breathe the rib cage up in the other direction out of your low back. Those of you whose hips are higher, if you would like to change hand positions to an interlace or arms by ears, you can do that. Good. Take 3 more breaths, turning on the power of your legs, your thighs heating up, your calves driving down towards your heels, making space to press your hips up. No gripping in the spine, certainly no gripping in the teeth. Notice how the jaw wants to help. And free your hands if they're underneath you and slowly roll your way down, curling your tailbone as you come down. Keep pressing feet down. Use that power to lower yourself down rather than gripping. Then separate your feet wider. If windshield wipe is appropriate for you, you can swish, swish knees side to side. If being still and breathing feels more effective, then either rest with the knees open or knees together. All right, now find resting in stillness, either knees open or knees together. And find your way to all fours for Dolphin Prep, maybe Dolphin. Come on down to your elbows, wrap your hands around your upper arms. Then clasp your hands in front of you. Push the ground away to hang your head, lifting out of your shoulders to dangle head off the earth. Lean your hips back. Now, some of you will stay in knees down variation, reaching your tailbone back anyway, actively to lengthen out of shoulders, keeping the elbows rotating in towards your ears to stabilize, press your elbows down. If you want to tuck your toes, slowly lift your knees off the mat to feel that same action of your tail drawing you back out of your shoulders. Scoop your low belly in and off your pelvis. Draw the ribs towards each other. Good. Really firm up the front of their spine. Exhale, set your knees down for embryo. Downward facing dog. Down dog, separate your feet wide out to the edge of your mat. Turn your heels out, your toes in. Bend your right knee in towards center. Good, so your hips will drop to the right. Press your mat forward with your hands so your shoulders are still stretching back, or you're stretching back out of your shoulders. And then change sides. Left knee down towards center. Firmly press right hand into the mat. Now go back and forth 1 or 2 more times like that. Feeling for the sides of your low spine being stretched back as you reach your tail back. And step to the feet back to downward facing dog, back to hips width. Really reach the tail back. And step or hop your feet up to your hands, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Agnisara, separate your feet a little bit wider, bend your knees and bring your hands onto your thighs. Lock your elbows out. So you're in a supported stance, your belly's free to move, your arms are supporting your lengthening spine. I'm thinking a lot about my hips will get tight and get trigger points because I have flexible hip bones, which can cause the muscles to really tighten up to support. I think one of the keys to that is to find your core support in the core. So the hip muscles, same with shoulder muscles, don't have to do the work of supporting our spine. So let's wake up the core a little bit more. We'll take a breath in, blow it out, hold it out, come into Uddiyana, and then while you hold the breath out, release and pull in again. Release and pull in again. Getting the belly to massage itself. Once you have to breathe, relax your belly and do that up to 2 more times on your own, maybe getting faster and faster. You've all done this before. I know a couple of you. Clear? Anyone have lunch in there? With lunch, be careful. Just maybe do Kapalabhati instead. All right. We'll begin. Empty out a breath. Keep the chin tucked as you fly the belly up and drop it. As many times as you can, holding your breath out, and then repeat. I like this because core strength doesn't mean having a tight core. Muscles that are chronically tight are weak. So we need to be able to let go and draw in to support our spine from the inside out. All right, when you're done with your rounds, you'll come to Tadasana at the front of your mat. We'll do a few sun salutations to get things moving. If you need to move your breath through your body in a different way, you'll tune me out. Maybe do cat's cows. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Step or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale your heart forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Maybe bend your knees to come up. Exhale, Samastitihi. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward. Inhale, step or jump forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale to your heart. Inhale, arms up. One more like that. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward. Keep stretching back for the full breath in. Find Uddiyana. And out. Step or hop forward. Breathe in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, Samastiti. Standing Ardha Chandrasana variation. Cross your left foot behind your right. And then spin the left heel in as much as you can so your left toes are angled a little towards right foot. Inhale, arms up. Catch your left wrist. Side bend to your right. Rest your head on your right shoulder. Press your hips to the left. Squeeze your thighs together. Tail down. Squeeze your thighs, squeeze your butt to pull you back up. Inhale. Exhale, unwind. Cross right foot behind left. Right arm up. Inhale. Exhale, stretch over to the left. Rest head on shoulder. Turn your right inner thigh in towards your left as you stretch. Press your hips right. And squeeze your thighs, squeeze your butt to pull you up. Inhale. Exhale, Samastiti. Surya Namaskara B, Utkatasana. Inhale, sit back in chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward. Now these warriors, we're moving on the breath. Feel free to skip them if you want. Warrior one, right foot forward. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale. Exhale. Left foot. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward. Step or jump forward. Breathe in. Exhale, fold. Utkatasana. Inhale, sit back. Samastitihi, return to standing. Tuck your tail. Again, Utkatasana. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward. Warrior one, right foot forward. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Martha, maybe hands to hips, step your left foot forward. Inhale, lift your heart upward. Exhale, downward. And then step your right foot back. Inhale. Warrior one, left foot forward. Exhale, chaturanga, or step forward. Inhale, hearts forward. Exhale, down dog. Down dog, step or hop forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Samastiti. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Breathe in. Breathe out. Right foot forward. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga, or step forward. Inhale, hearts forward, full of breath. Exhale, down dog. Left foot. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga. Breathe out. We'll begin our standing series. Take 2 more breaths. Warrior one, right foot forward, hands on hips. So it's interesting you guys brought up hip flexors this week. I just realized maybe it was just this week how warrior one is a TFL stretch for this back hip flexor. Feel for TFL being these little jeans pocket muscles here that I say are so hard to stretch. With your hands on your hips, plug your left heel into the mat and pretend to pull it in towards your right heel, and then turn your hips forward with your hands. So you can keep this hip flexor relaxed as you pull the left foot like you're trying to pull it across your mat. Now pin your tailbone down, inhale your rib cage up, exhale, roll the shoulders back, squeeze your elbows back. One more breath. Twisting warrior variation. Bring your hands down to frame the front foot, spin onto the back toes, left hand on ground or put it on a block, twisting to your right. Option, right thumb might hook the right hip and help pull it back and down. Wide angled forward fold, bring your right hand down to left, walk hands left if this transition is okay for you, otherwise come out of the pose and turn to face side of mat with your toes in, heels out. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Flank stretch. Walk both hands to your left ankle. Take the front of your ankle with your right hand. Feet are still parallel facing side of mat. Right hand holding front of left ankle, left hand holding right ankle. Left hand holding right hand. Head resting on the right arm. Body, elbow falling to the earth. Lizard lunge variation. Release your ankle. Walk your hands back towards right foot. Set your back knee down. Both hands to the inside of right foot. Right heel might move to the side. Right knee falls away from your shoulder. Now for me today, it feels safe to let my foot roll off the mat. Some bodies, better to turn your toes out and have your knee bend over your toes as it opens. Get a little cobra action, drawing your heart forward. Use your hands, pull the mat towards you. And then hips hang into that space. Optional if you want a little more opening, right hand can come to your right inner thigh. And just like our seated hip opener, feel for a lengthening thigh bone out of hip. Hand down, walk your right foot back towards center, come into your runner's lunge. Hands might be on blocks, hips might have to be high, that's fine. Find your way back to downward facing dog or whatever your neutral shape is at the moment. Cat-cow is a great idea. Left foot forward, warrior one. Hands on hips. And for this variation, the feet can be pretty much close to in line, if that feels okay on all the joints. And ground your heels, send your tailbone straight down, and pretend to pull the right foot towards your left heel, and then rotate your pelvis forward. We're trying to turn on the inner thigh so all this out here can let go. So pretend to pull right foot towards left. Active foot, very good idea. So it's not pulling on the knee. right, if you're pulling with a lot of force, back out a bit so you can sustain it as you send your tailbone straight down. Inhale, telescope rib cage up. Exhale, elbows back. Roll the shoulders down the back. Get taller through your spine. Twisting warrior variation. Right hand comes down to ground or block. Come on to back toes. Left arm to sky, or thumb can hook left hip flexor and pull it down. Scoop your low belly off your pelvis, a sense of Uddiyana. Lengthening your spine from the inside. Huge breath to spread collarbones, spread shoulders. Wide angled forward fold. Exhale, left hand down. If transitioning that way works for you, walking hands to the right, turn your left toes in. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Flank stretch. Left hand takes hold of the right ankle. Right hand rests on the left hand. Head rests on the left arm. So your body can hang between your two legs. Pull your left hip back. Breathe into left hip, left ribs. Whole left side body. Release your ankle. Walk your hands towards your left foot for dragon variation. Lower the back knee down, hands to the inside of left foot. You might want to move left foot towards the left edge of your mat, make more space. And this variation, left knee drops away from shoulder. Drawing your heart forward, tuck your tail back, scoop your belly in. An option to manually open your left thigh with your hand. Runner's lunge. Walk your foot back between your hands. Straighten the back leg. Re-squaring hips, reconnecting to center. Firming up from pelvic floor to navel. Everything else can extend away from that center with your breath. And find your way back to downward dog, or take a cat-cow or other resting pose. Let's come into horse stance. Step either foot forward to turn to face side of mat. Archer. Right arm up. Bend your right elbow. Left hand either holds the right elbow, or some of you are working your bind. With an exhale breath, turn the left thumb down to wrap your hand behind your back. If you're not holding fingertips, then hold on to shirt or find a strap or something you can fish for with your right hand. Now scoop your low belly in and up. Reconnect to core by drawing the ribs back into the belly, shortening that area between pubic bone and sternum, breathing your heart up in the stretch, but not blowing out. Connect. All right, full binds. Press left hand against the small of your back as you release. Straighten your legs. Turn your toes in. Inhale, lift your heart. Keep digging your fingers into your waist as you forward fold. Tuck your chin into your chest. Squeeze your elbows together behind you. Roll the shoulders back towards each other, away from neck. And then stretch neck by tucking your chin down. Look down your nose towards navel. Pull navel to spine. You might need to bend your knees a lot to come back up. Just make sure you're using your buttocks, not your hips. Good. And release back into horse. Archer, other arm up. Holding left elbow. Or if you start to bind, you turn your right thumb down and already your shoulder's not sure about it, skip it. The key to, well, the gift of binding is once you've got something in your fingers, you can relax the shoulders and reach the elbows away from each other. Use your hands instead of your shoulders and jaw. All right, press right hand against small of back to release. Hands to hips, straighten legs, turn your toes in. Inhale, spread your hands. Exhale, interlace hands. You can choose to stay upright here, squeezing shoulders back, or exhale into forward fold. Now pretend to pull the feet towards each other a little bit on your mat, feeling your arches and your inner thighs turn up. Also part of the core, that whole inner leg line. If you feel safe coming up in the bind, reach through your knuckles to pull you up. If you need to let go with your hands, we're coming back into horse. Twisting horse, toes out, bend your knees, hands on your thighs. Inhale to lean forward. Exhale, look over right shoulder. Press your left thigh open with your hand. Chest moving close to right knee. Inhale, center. Pull your belly in. Exhale, twist to the left. Go back and forth 1 or 2 more times at each side. When you are complete, you can release into a forward fold with toes in. Or if you prefer to come up to standing, come into Tadasana, that's fine. But breathe. Yeah, maybe straightening your left arm, Cynthia, as you stretch back. Not your knee, but your arm. Oh yes, does that feel good to shoulder? It should feel like a sweet stretch. Unless you're injured, and then you'll know. Don't do that. All right. Find a still place to find your breath. We'll meet in warrior 2, right foot forward, right knee bent. Reverse warrior with neck release. Let's get into this in a little different way. Put your hands on your hips. And me, I can conveniently use my camera, but feel for your hips to be square. Lift the right hip up a little bit. Traction left hip. Take that meat, draw it down. Good. And then as you press that down, you might find yourself leaning to the left. Spine hangs left, head hangs to left shoulder. Right arm, fingers reaching towards right knee for neck release. Angling your right arm in just the right position to feel for a line of tension in your neck that you can hang your head off of. And using breath and weight of head to start to unravel the tension. Feet pressing down, belly pulling in so your hips aren't holding you in the warrior. Your butt your belly through your connection to earth. All right, keep your neck relaxed as you reach through the right hand to pull you up. Left hand might actually help your head up. Coming into pigeon, lowering down onto right shin. Take your time if you need to find your own way to transition. We'll stay upright for a few breaths. For upright, if you can bring your hands back by your hips might not be as low as they are in sleepy pigeon. So your shoulders are over hips. Yes, this is asking your hip flexors to work. I want you to scoop your belly button off pelvis, make your belly do more work. Feet can press into the earth, make them do some work. Some of you, this is not good for your spine. Then you're a little further forward like you're doing low cobra. Pull the mat towards you to pull out of low back. All right, find your way onto your belly. For H to B, option half bow coming into a sphinx, reaching back for your right heel, whichever leg was just forward, that's the heel you're catching. Foot draws your straight arm back, left hand pulls you forward. If you prefer to be in a simple quad stretch, you can either relax your head down or roll onto your left side if that's safer for your joints. So you guys know what you're working with physically and energetically. Either choose a more active option or a more restful option. Both are healing, and they change day to day. Use your breath. How much effort, how much ease. All right, find your way back into down dog or your neutral vinyasa. Warrior two, left foot forward. If you're practicing not using hips, you might set your knees down and actually use your hand to help you get up. Hands on hips, squaring off hips. Feel for it, your left hip bone, maybe it's almost like a handle. Pick up the handle. Press your right hip down, and with your hips square, your spine can hang off to the right. Then reach your left fingertips toward your left knee, beyond your left knee, feeling for the stretch in the left side of neck. Hang your head off that stretch. Hip flexor people, your right knee might be slightly soft, so you can tuck your tail down and connect to your buttocks, the gluteus maximus, your sitting muscles. Let them hold you here, even though you're not sitting. All right, next stays relaxed as you reach through left hand to come up. Pigeon, lower down onto the left shin. Staying upright if possible. Putting something underneath your seat. Hands on blocks, also useful tools for helping you figure out how to use your core, not your hip flexors, to hold you up here. Using your cat if she'll help, yes. I will have to come up with my cat would not cooperate. How to use her as a prop. All right, H to B. Finding your way onto belly or into Sphinx. If you're doing the more active half bow, you'll start in Sphinx. And in that active shape, your left foot is pulling your left hand back. Your right hand is pulling your torso forward. Flexing the foot's a nice way to stabilize knee. Or if this hip wants more still, quiet attention, come into a resting shape. Still actively tuck the tail, scoop your belly up. Stay connected to center. Mula Bandha. And carefully release. Let's come onto our knees for camel variation. Do you guys have a block or a rolled up blanket or a pillow or something you can squeeze between your legs? Okay. I think this is another useful tool for when our spines go forward and back. How to use the inner leg part of our core to support the spine instead of these outer structures that tend to grip. So holding your prop between your thighs, hands on backs of hips, to send your tail down. And inhale to lengthen up out of your hips. Exhale, roll the shoulders back, draw the elbows back. I'm not at all concerned with how far back you go today. We're just doing one round, but 8 long breaths. So if you start to go back and feel your hips turn on, pause. Hug your block, lengthen tail down. Use the lowest part of your glutes and your inner thighs. Breathe your spine up from that. If your hands have gone back, put them back on your hips, let them guide your sacrum down, use them, and breathe your chest forward, head follows heart. Take your block away. Let's come right into a wide knee child's pose. Separate your knees as wide as you can. And part one, simply coming onto hands or elbows, not too low yet. Lengthen your tail back. Then from there, if you want to come down to elbows or all the way down onto your head, you can. Sleepy pigeon variations. Right knee forward. And you may want to go into whatever pigeon you did before. That's fine if you want to see how it feels now. Or maybe change it up to get into a different part of your hip. So if you didn't do sleepy before, you can do straight forward. Or you can roll onto right hip to bring the right foot forward more, or more of a deer pose variation. And take a few breaths to transition to the second side. Your breath might ask you to go to a neutral place for a few breaths. Or it might just bring the other leg forward. 3 more breaths. And transition out, follow your breath. Next place we'll meet is sitting. Dandasana. Legs straight, feet flexed, big toes touch. Hands press into the ground by your hips to help you sit up tall. Scoop up your pelvic floor. Lift your low belly off your pelvis. Lift your heart, roll your shoulders back. Tuck your chin down, gaze at big toes. Strong breathing. Release. Your choice of forward fold. You can either keep the legs straight for Paschimottanasana or Batakanasana, knees bent, feet together. Three more breaths here. Close your eyes and feel inside. And inhale, heart forward. Pull your belly in to pull you up, whichever variation you're in. Janu Shirsasana A, straighten your left leg out. Draw your right knee back. Turn your belly towards left thigh. Forward fold over the left leg. You can use your strap again, Martha, if you want, and just work the length and the twist, working this knee down. Actually, putting my hand on that thigh was very helpful, if that feels right to you. You'll notice you don't even have to forward fold to get a hamstring stretch. Forward folds, inhale to glance eyes towards toes, pull your belly in to pull you up, and change sides. Right leg straight, left knee back. There is a twist element to this forward fold. The further your left knee is back, the more your left hip is involved, which can be a sweet bonus. But if it doesn't feel right to whatever's going on in your pelvis, don't pull it back so far. And even those of you who can catch your foot, work the length of your spine, your heart out toward your toes. If your hamstrings are healthy, then you draw your right sit bone back, but then squeeze at your anus and genitals. Inhale, glance towards toes, and pull your belly in to pull spine up. Half lotus, spinal twist. If half lotus is In your yoga library, right foot to hip, otherwise cross-legged seat. Option to bind. So some of you will put your strap on your right foot because you're learning how to bind. Twisting to your right, left hand, right knee. Right hand can either be on the ground behind you, or even if you're not catching foot, right arm might be behind your back. And then once you're holding onto some clothing, you can roll shoulder back and let it hang. Optional, hang head to left shoulder. Neck release. Angle of chin depends on what's going on with your shoulder and neck. Just be careful your head doesn't fall forward. It will try to come forward. Keep it hanging towards shoulder. Yeah, you can hang it towards either shoulder. Depends what your arms are doing. Just remember what side you're hanging your head towards so you can reverse it. To come out of the shape, pull on your knee with your left hand so your neck can stay relaxed. Press the right hand against the small of your back as you release the bind. And change sides. Twisting towards your left, right hand, left knee. If left hand is binding, it either holds onto your shirt or you can tuck it into your pants or put a strap around your foot so you can eventually catch it. And binding, I recommend hanging head to right shoulder, but you feel we'll do the opposite whatever you did last time. And I see some of you figured out, yeah, hang off your arms. Still connected to your Mula Bandha, but everything else hanging off bones. Yeah. And feel for rolling the left head of the shoulder, head of the left shoulder back a little, Cynthia. Let's see how that feels. Now hang your head to the right. Yeah. It's very, I shouldn't say, but it's very photogenic, Susan. I hope it feels as good as it looks. All right, pull on your knee to pull you back up with a relaxed neck. Press left hand against the small of your back as you release that shoulder. Come on down to your back. Figure 4, right ankle, left knee. Pick your left foot up. Open your arms to a T. Spinal twist. Drop your feet over towards your left hand. Your right foot lands on the floor with your knee up. Left hand can come to your right inner thigh and nudge it open. So you're actually pressing your knee away from you rather than hugging it in. If that feels right to your hip. And then let the right knee fall down, still twisting in this direction. Some of you will continue to hook the right foot underneath left. You're in twisted root. Yeah. Or you can unhook it for any other variation of twist. Now to come onto your back, connect to your low belly. Pull that in to roll you onto your back. If you need to untwist your root so your legs can help, do that. Then come into figure 4, left ankle, right knee. Spinal twist part 1. Legs drop over towards the right hand. Left foot standing on the floor so you can nudge your left knee away from you. Maybe gaze towards left hand. You can experiment with tucking or untucking your tail and see how that feels to hips and spine. And then part 2, letting the left knee fall back in, and maybe the left foot weaves right underneath the right knee into a twisted root. If that doesn't work on this side, any other twist. And if it feels right to you to connect to abdominals to pull you out of the twist, really firm up. Otherwise, unwind arms, unwind legs to help you roll. All right. Shavasana, if there's any last stretches or upside down time you want to take for 1 minute. If you come onto your back and you don't feel urges to move from your body. I can't remember if I said it in this class. Those urges to move, sometimes I think might be what we're trying to capture in the stillness of Shavasana. To have that moving energy rather than move the body, heal you from the inside. But without tightening against that movement. Feel the ground underneath you, under your heels, your calves, your buttocks, all relaxed. Your back, your shoulders, your arms, being held. Your neck relaxed, your skull supported on the earth, your brain free to float in your skull. Bring your hands onto your belly. Take a slow, full breath, feeling your soft belly rise into your hands. Exhale, feel the heaviness of your relaxed hips and legs. Move slow as you bend a knee at a time. Be very conscious of how movement happens without judging, feeling. And then follow that wisdom of your body up to sitting, nice and easy. Pause when you please. Palms together, thumbs press into sternum to lift heart. Namaste.